always impressed me about Griff is, regardless of the issue, he never accepted at face value the facts as presented. He was a real devil's advocate, and he made us all work hard, whether on the staff or on the board, to examine all the possible options to make sure that we came up with the correct and best answer and the best approach that would serve the interests of our patients and families.
He had a mindset that the organization would run much more efficiently and effectively if we worked together as one. And that concept in itself was a difficult thing to get across our chapter. And Griff stood tall and really stood behind his conviction there in regards to we need to at least work or act as one seamless organization, even if we're not going to officially be one seamless organization.
What struck me about Griff was his incredible focus and commitment to the association. He put an enormous amount of time and effort, traveled probably more so than any chairman in the history of the organization, to chapters, to donors, to many events that really gave and provided a face of the leadership of the organization to those that we were serving. And I really think that played an important role in the success of the association over the last 4 years.
He is visionary. He is a prophet of change, and I've seen his actually evolution in leadership coming gradually over this period of the last 3 to 4 years. I think the most important plan that he made was the strategic plan, as he envisioned the year 2000, envisioned that we would probably have what the Chinese call the giant leap forward. And so putting the strategic plan together was, I think, instrumental in setting a new foundation for the association. Right after the strategic plan, we now come into the restructuring program for a leaner, more dynamic, more heavy-hitting, and an organization that can correlate change and be ready for the next century. And now we're in the process of implementing that. Along with that, there are many accomplishments. We had a change in revenues from $84 million to $134 million, about 60% increase in a four-year period, ending with 99. Research budget went from $10 million to $16.5 million, also a 65% increase. He enlivened the lowest Alzheimer group. Now we have over 500 members giving a minimum of $1,000 a year. He put in marketing programs such as Women and Alzheimer's, and which enlivened our public relations, enlivened our public awareness. The memory walk has been growing, but has made a very dynamic leap, I'd say, in the last year to two. Some 100,000 walkers, revenue of $12 million. All of those accomplishments were done during this time of ferment and change. And I think that that's kind of the hallmark of Griff's ability to use his leadership ability, his motivational talents to bring the organization to where it is at a high point today. I've seen the development of our chairman as he evolved into a strategic and a decisive leader early in his tenure. Speaking of evolution, we who have sat on the sidelines or have worked with him have noticed that he has been an instrument of change, and we have seen him grow. In fact, I guess he would be a textbook example of change. All of us could see him literally changing before our very eyes.
Oh, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, the evolution of our fearless leader. First, the Steinke stage. In the Steinke stage, we see the species really bent over, not able to stand upright. We see the knuckles dragging on the ground, bushy eyebrows, and really very limited speech patterns with very simple terms such as dues, chapter, national, and on occasion, Budweiser. As the species evolved, we move into the Steinke-Healy stage. Subject is more upright, has a larger brain cavity, becoming somewhat of a fashion plate, and carries this club to emphasize some of his more complex, even though primitive thoughts, such as single corporation. And finally, the species evolves to the stage of full development and to the leader that we know today, the Healy stage. Here we see the species is fully upright, alert, enormous pectoral, biceps, and thigh muscles, working opposable thumbs, and now able to develop complex thoughts and ideas, such as seamless organization, combined fundraising, and 8-ball in the corner pocket.
Well, I think some of the major things that Griff brought to the organization is encouraging the chapter network to participate in deliberations with the national board, to serve on national board committees, to work, now we have the AMT group, which everyone knows about. These were very crucial things for our organization because there was always this major separation when it came time to make decisions between national board and the chapter network. So by bringing that group together, I think that made a huge difference in the organization. Also during that time, the activities of the organization, our education conference and things of that sort, began to be taken on the road and held in different areas versus everything just being in Chicago. I think that really helped to give a greater feel of connection to local cities. From the chapter perspective, the chapter dues were considered as unfair. And Griff took on the charge to try and develop a new dues process. And he was, in some people's minds, very fair and very analytical in doing that. But probably the biggest thing he did was he was able to keep people calm during a very intense time when things could have really gotten out of control.
Griff is analytic and objective, and he encouraged a stronger emphasis on collecting good data to support our cause. For example, during his tenure, the association issued a report calculating for the first time the cost of Alzheimer's disease to American business, released the first report to measure the economic value of family caregiving on a state-by-state basis, prepared a comprehensive report profiling Alzheimer's caregivers and their caregiving roles. Griff also is a fair-minded and ethical leader. During his chairmanship, the association, with help from its ethics advisory panel, adopted positions on conflict of interest guidelines for board and staff, making decisions on participation in research, the ethics of placebo trials, and genetic testing. But not all issues were easily resolved. I recall a few years ago a major rift developed between the association and a group of nuns. I think they were called the Sisters of Persuasion. Tempers ran very high, and a lot was at stake. This was a situation that required the utmost in skill and diplomacy. Griff's handling of the nuns, however, was nothing short of saint-like. He used every ounce of his extensive reservoir of tact and talent. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to the 18th green here at Pebble Beach. I'm Tim Ryan, and this is an NBC Sports Golf Special Edition brought to you by Buick Century, the official car of the PGA Tour. Well, as so often happens in these high-stakes, head-to-head match play events, it has all come down to the final hole. With this tremendous gallery of excited fans, so much riding on every shot, It's hard to imagine anything more dramatic. We're witnessing something truly amazing this afternoon. Griff Healy of the Alzheimer's Association and the Mother Superior of the Sisters of Persuasion are engaged in a sudden death shootout to resolve their differences. Just moments ago, the Mother Superior sank this putt to go one under, and that led to some uncharacteristic jubilation straight out of the Old Testament. Now back live, where Mother Superior has really put the pressure on Healy. Griff must now sink this putt to stay even. This shot absolutely crucial to Healy's reputation as leader of the Alzheimer's Association. It's a tricky putt, but he's made these many times before. Rolling toward the cup, it looks like he's on the line, but it doesn't take the break. Griff Healy has missed the most important shot of his life. You've witnessed history here today, ladies and gentlemen. This one will be analyzed and reanalyzed for years to come. But one thing is clear, Griff Healy's domination of the Alzheimer's Association has most assuredly come to an end.
Griff is a visionary. He's able to look into the future and move the association in the direction to prepare it for that future. For example, under his leadership, the association has been able to refine its vision and its mission to focus on creating a world without Alzheimer's, while enhancing the quality of life for individuals and their families. Developed an implementation plan for the strategic plan, which would make the whole association stronger and more capable to meet the needs of families who depend on us the most. I think most people would agree that Griff's commitment and support of the chapter network has helped the whole association move forward during a time of tremendous change. Griff knew that we needed a plan that would strengthen and improve all association chapters in accordance with our new strategic plan. The result was a realignment of the chapter network. Now, this plan was very controversial. There were heated debates and there was lots of tension all across the association. But despite this, Griff's mere presence kept the debate civil and constructive, as this videotape will evidence.
In all seriousness, Griff has been an invaluable asset to the Alzheimer's Association.
The one thing I liked about working with Griff is not only was he a demanding taskmaster in making sure that the work of the association had a sense of urgency and commitment behind it, but he also had that side of him that provided a friend to me, and I really got to know Griff in other ways than just the relationship between staff and volunteer. And it's a friendship that I know will last forever.
Griff's leadership will be missed, but his presence will be felt as long as there is an Alzheimer's Association. And we'll have our Alzheimer's Association until we have achieved our vision, a world without Alzheimer's. So thank you, Griff, for making part of our vision possible.
No, I want the sun to shine so we can go golfing.